Hello guys, so I thought I would share basically everything that's been going on and about my move from Taiwan to Japan. So basically a lot of you guys actually asked me on Instagram message about basically DM me about what I'll be doing in Japan and about my decision. So basically, as you guys know, I'm an international school teacher, and basically in August, they already basically sent out a form about, my intention, whether I like to, renew the contract or whether I would, not want to renew, basically stuff like that. So it was very tough. As you guys know, some people don't even know what they're going to be eating for dinner, let alone one whole academic year after. So it was a big, big decision because I moved back from LA in 2018 and I've been teaching in Taipei for the last 5 years. And Taipei is a very, very familiar place and it is definitely in my comfort zone. I know Taipei very well. I've been living in Taipei for more than 2 decades and I just thought what, before turning 30, before doing, when I'm still in my 20s, I want to do something for me and I want to make this decision for me because I do want to step out of my comfort zone. And I know that if I don't do it, when will I? And if I, this is literally like the best time to do so. And I made this decision for nobody else but myself because I just thought I've been really craving for that, living in a new place, new city, and doing something for me, having a new life. And there were only 3 countries I was more interested in when I was applying. So despite the fact that I've always longed to move back to the States, move to LA after coming back after graduating from USC, I just still thought I really still, Asia is fantastic. The convenience, the food is absolutely amazing. And I just thought before moving back to the States, I want to explore Asia more. I've never lived in any other Asian countries other than Taiwan. So I just thought I should do that for myself. And I was looking into Singapore, Korea, and Japan. So these were the only 3 countries that I was more interested in, moving to. And so basically, before October ended, I needed to make a decision. So literally I have to quit my job. Well, it's not really quit my job. It's basically I have to tell the school that I am not renewing and not knowing where I'm going to be going for the next academic term, meaning I don't even know if I will have a job in the next August. So it is very tough because I feel like for a lot of jobs, you can literally just quit your job when you have, a backup plan or you already have a job secured or whatnot. But obviously it's very different for an international school teacher, and I do understand because they also do need to do the recruitment for new teachers. So for me, it was very tough because I am leaving friends, family from Taiwan. I'm leaving a very, very familiar, safe, comfortable life to go somewhere else. And what made me come to this decision is literally for me to grow. I want to grow. I want to experience a different life. I strongly don't believe that I was just meant to stay in a place forever, and I really want to explore my options. So in about December, January, I was going through interviews and a few schools reached out to me in Singapore. So there were more interviews going on in Singapore. And then the Japan one, it was happening at the same time. So when it came down to the decision-making time, I was just kind of weighing the, pros and cons and whatnot. And honestly, I've always wanted to live in Japan ever since. So when I was in USC, the first winter break, I actually went to Japan. And I actually set a goal for myself. I just thought like, it would be like a dream to go to Japan, when I'm like 28 and teach at an international school and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't want to say I manifested it, but I just always had that strong desire to go to Japan because ever since I was a little kid, my parents would always take me to Japan, and so I'm quite familiar with the country. Obviously, I haven't explored every part of Japan, obviously, but like I'm very familiar, especially with like Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto area. I'm pretty familiar with these cities, and I just thought like, I want to follow my heart. So as cliche as it sounds, I followed my heart and I chose to go to Japan. And so I accepted the offer around, I think like end of January, I believe. So I was in Seoul when, the new contract came in and everything. So it's really exciting. So yeah, that's how I came to the conclusion that I'm gonna move. And honestly, like I've been wanting this for freaking ages, and it's not easy just because, there are so many pros of staying in Taipei. And honestly, like Taipei has so much to offer. There's so many nice things that you can do. You can live really comfortably here and stuff like that. And, you can have a very good life in Taipei as well. But I just felt like I definitely need to close this chapter and embark on my new journey. I definitely would encourage anyone in their 20s to really step out of their comfort zone, because this is the decade where you just want to grow as much as you can, okay? And I think don't waste your time in your 20s thinking like, oh, you know what? When I'm 30, I'll figure it out. I feel like you should utilize these incredible 10 years to really find out what is it that you like. You don't necessarily have to find out who you are exactly. You don't have to know, oh, this is exactly who I am. This is my identity and this is the only identity I have. But you can use these 10 beautiful years to really grow, to really understand yourself, to build, deep relationships, to find your hobbies, to find a system that works for you, to build better habits, to make you more wholesome and fulfilled and healthy. And for me, this decade has been, well, I'm not 30 yet, but I feel like in my 20s, in my early 20s, my late 20s, there's a big difference. So I feel like the early 20s, I was trying to figure out, what is it that I want to do? What do I want to do after college? Do people like me? What do people think of me? Blah, 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 blah. So it's more like approval from others. By my late 20s, I have slowly, tried to combat the problems I have internally, and I have tried to build deeper connections. It is no longer, oh, what if they don't like me? It is, do I like them? Are they worth my time? Hey, people, I really want to spend my precious hours outside of work and my own time to hang out with, like I'm someone who really values quality over quantity. And if I feel like it is not worth my time, I will say no, and in my late 20s, I also started to learn to say no, because honestly, like it has been very tough. It's really tough for me to say no to people. And I always want to like be there and stuff like that. But I just feel like sometimes like I just have to set my boundaries and be very clear. I cannot do that. I'm not going to do that because I need to value also, what I need for my own well-being. So in my late 20s, I started to, for example, read more. I started to listen to podcasts that inspire me. Jay Shetty's a really big one. I also listen to Call Her Daddy. I also listen to, a lot of podcasts that are about like, like not just like women empowerment, but about like things that people talk about and who are by people similar to my own age. So I feel that very inspirational. And in my late 20s, I also, feel that I need to know my priorities. What am I working so hard for? And where to spend my money. For example, for me, my biggest expense would be traveling, you know? And I feel like traveling is a perfect way for you to get out and see the world and to be inspired again. And I feel like, yeah, so I feel like those are really the things that made me come to this conclusion of wanting to move abroad. And I know that, you know, this is gonna be something that I'll really appreciate in the future. And I feel like life is also short. You want to put energy, time, and I guess like you want to put time and energy into things that matter to you. And you don't want to really leave with regrets. So I do not regret anything that has happened or any decisions I have made in the past, because I feel like without those trial and error mistakes, I won't be the person I am today, you know. And I'm thankful for anyone who has hurt me in the past, because thank you for making me stronger. And yeah, thank you for listening.